Thank you. Hello, everyone. As he so nicely introduced me, my name is Brian Hilario. I'm a veteran. I spent 7 years in active duty military as a Green Beret with 7 Special Forces Group. Thank you. I managed my own fitness facility for a little while. I am a personal trainer. I teach fitness classes. I'm a full-time student. I'm a father of a 3-year-old son. I'm an actor. I'm a writer. I'm a director. And I pretty much do anything else that I feel like doing whenever I feel like doing it. Okay? I know I'm getting the same look from a lot of people. They're like, how? Like, how does this all make sense? How do you have time to do this? All right? Well, I'm going to tell you how. Because I follow one simple mantra. And that mantra is, I live life on my own terms. Every single day. So, let me tell you. You're either living life on your terms, or you're just helping somebody else live life on theirs. Period. You can do both, and preferably we're all doing both by helping each other out, right? But what does that mean to you? Think about it. What does that mean to you? Living life on your own terms. It probably means something different to everyone here. But I'm going to tell you what it means to me. To me, living life on your own terms means waking up every morning and being excited about what I'm going to do. Excited about whatever I've got my day going, whatever it is. Just living my life to help somebody else live life on their terms, you know what that looks like? That looks like waking up every morning and you cannot wait for your workday to end. Waking up every morning and you cannot wait for the weekend to come. Waking up every morning and you can't wait for the month to end, for the semester to be over, for the quarter to be over, for the season to be over, or worst of all, you can't wait to retire and be done with working altogether. I don't know which one you guys want to be like, but I know what I want to be like. I want to wake up every morning excited. Excited about everything that I'm doing. I have a question. What do you think is the #1 regret people over the age of 65 have? Raise your hand if you think you have the answer. Don't be shy. Go for it.
Spending more time, recreation, family, friends.
Okay, close. Give me one more.
Not flossing.
Not getting that colonoscopy.
Possible. One last guess.
I hear what she said, but maybe spending more time with your family.
Okay, you get kind of on the same track. Kind of on the same track.
Not quitting a job you hated.
That's a good one. I like that. No. The heavy cost of time wasted. That is the #1 regret of people over the age of 65. The heavy cost of time wasted. Let me throw something else at you. According to a study that's done every single year by the Conference Board, a nonprofit research company up in New York City, 52.3% of Americans are unhappy with their lives. 52.3% of Americans are unhappy with their lives. You know what that means? Out of everybody in this room, about half of you are unhappy with some aspect of your life, be it your job, your social life, your emotional, something. Now think about what I just said. People over the age of 65, their #1 regret is the heavy cost of time wasted. That means 52.3% of Americans are wasting their time every single day. It's kind of scary, isn't it? It's kind of scary. Well, I'm going to tell you right now that it doesn't have to be that way. You have a choice. There are opportunities out there. Okay? And I'm going to give you, hopefully at the end of this talk, I'm going to give you a couple things that are going to help guide you in that direction. And then we're going to go step by step. Everybody likes steps, right? It's easy to follow. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right? I don't know if that was me. Whatever. All right. Step #1. You've got to be honest with yourself. Step #1, be honest with yourself. You want to know who we lie to more than anybody else every single day? Yourself. Yourself. You tell yourself that you like that job. You tell yourself that you really like that best friend of yours. You tell yourself, oh yeah, I know. Like 2 people were just like, I'm not looking at the person next to me. You tell yourself that you're happy with the day-to-day activities. You're happy with the amount of vacation days you have. You're happy with the number that's in your bank account. And you lie to yourself. Be honest with yourself. But I'm up here, I want to be positive, all right? So you want to know the very first thing we're going to say for you to be honest with yourself about? What do you like to do? Simple question. Seems like a simple question. But I'll tell you right now, you go into any university in the country, you go sit in front of a bunch of college students and you ask them, hey, if I gave you $1 million every single year to do whatever you wanted to do, most of them are going to have no idea how to answer that question. Most of them, about 50% of them, are going to say, I don't know. About a third of them are going to give you some conditioned response. What I mean by that is they've been told all their lives that the one thing you should do is be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, an accountant, a comptroller, an architect, an engineer. They're going to give you one of those canned responses. Let me give you an example. I was in a classroom, we got asked that question. There's 5 people that stood out in my mind because they said they wanted to be an accountant. They wanted to be a real estate agent. They wanted to be an engineer. They wanted to own a fish farm. And one of them wanted to own restaurants. Out of those 5 people, only one of them gave me a profession that involved something they actually liked to do. And that was the person who owned a restaurant. That's his passion. He wants to own restaurants. He's been in restaurants his entire life. He loves it. The rest of the 4, when you ask them what they like, drawing, comic books, animation, mathematics. Those are the things they like to do. So once we pulled all those information out of them, you know what they said? They changed their profession. One guy, social anxiety. He's drawing t-shirts right now, or drawing designs for t-shirts right now to motivate other people with social anxiety. You know what he told us he wanted to do? Be an accountant. Get out of here. All right, so number 1, be true to yourself. Be honest with yourself. Find the things that you actually really love doing. All right, number 2, ask yourself why you're not doing more of that. Why are those things not more prevalent in your life? So when you go through that list of things that you like doing, there should be more than one thing. You should have a whole plethora of interests and passions and loves. Go through that list. Why is there not more of that in your life? We're all going to have different answers. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't have the skills. I'm not in a position in my life right now where I can do that. If you were to Google that, if you're going to Google that question, you'll get about 67 different articles saying 43 reasons why you're not accomplishing your goals. 11 ways to improve your life. I'm going to save you the Google search. I'm going to give you the one thing above everything else. Fear. We are afraid. We're afraid of failing. How many people, raise your hand right now, have at one point in their life been afraid of failing something? Keep them up, keep them up, keep them up. Now, how many of you, that fear kept you from even trying? Okay, all right. Thank you all for being honest. Thank you to those who kept their hands raised for being honest, because I promise you, every single person in here laid in bed one day thought they had a great idea, and they didn't follow through with it. Everybody here. So all of you should have kept your hands raised. All right. Fear. Fear of success. Didn't think that was a thing, did you? Fear of success. You're afraid you're going to go after that thing, you're going to get there, and you're going to realize, I didn't like it that much. Oh man, I thought I liked this, but I didn't like it. Is that really a problem? I just spent a year doing something that I loved doing, and at the end I was like, it was okay. What do? You move on to the next thing you like, right? If you did that every year for the rest of your life, do you think you'd be unhappy? No. You spend every day doing something you love doing because you wanted to do it, not because somebody told you to do it. The other aspect of fear of success is you're going to get there, but you're not going to be able to sustain it. right? You're gonna have that one-hit wonder, that one-off. But would you rather be the person who says, yeah, I was there once? Or would you rather be the person who said, I wanted to do that once? I know which person I want to be. I would rather say I'd been there one time. You know what I mean? All right. Too many people spend 90% of their time doing something they don't like to do, so they can spend 10% of time doing something they do like to do. That should scare you more than fear of failure, fear of success. All right, number 3. How do I do more of that? Pretty simple questions. You thought this was all going to be real complicated, didn't you? And you're like, man, how? How do I do more of that? I'm going to tell you right now. Throw another statistic at you. 80% of Americans don't set goals. 80% of Americans do not set goals. Of the 20% who do set goals, 70% of them never take one step in the direction of that goal. So for the people who don't want to do the math, 6% of the population set goals and actually try to accomplish them. 6%. You know what other number correlates with 6%, roughly? It's between 70 and 9%, depending on what study. The amount of millionaires in the United States. The percentage of millionaires in the United States is somewhere between 7 and 9, depending on what study you read. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. So, we're going to do a little experiment. I want everybody to close your eyes. Close your eyes and think of something that, when I asked you, what is something you love? What is something you have a passion about? I want you to pick one of those things, and I want you to pick something that you have a skill in. It doesn't have to be a good skill. It could be something that you're just mediocre at. It doesn't matter because you love that. You love whatever that is. Okay. If it's writing a poem, if it's music, if it's coding, whatever it is. All right, you got it? Next, I want you to set a goal that involves that thing. So if you like to write a poem, write a short story. If you like to make music, compose a song. You guys can open your eyes and look at me if you like. I like your pretty faces. I want you to write a song. If you like coding, if you like software, I want you to make an application. If you like working out, I want you to make a workout. But I'm going to take you one step further. When you write that short story, I want you to find a magazine that's publishing short stories. And I want you to submit it. If you're writing a song, I want you to find either somebody to play that song or you to play that song. You're going to record it and you're going to put it up on SoundCloud, on YouTube. I don't care where it is. Put it up so the world can see. Because that is accomplishing a goal. If you just wrote that short story and left it sitting in your book, all you're doing is hiding. You're keeping it. You're holding it to yourself. You're not creating any opportunity for success. Ding. So I want you to set that goal and I want you to do it. Do it. You may not get into that magazine, but who cares? You did it. Now you understand the steps it takes to do that. And you might realize, man, I love doing that so much more than I love doing this other thing that I do way too much. All right? Okay. All right. Number four. So we talked about how do I do it? We're talking about goals, right? Okay. Number 4 is how do I make my whole life like that? That's a tricky question, but it's really not. Because when you start doing these goals, when you start making these goals, and you start filling your life with these goals, you're going to realize you don't have a whole lot of time for things that you don't like to do you? You don't, because you're filling your life with things that you do like to do. I'm not telling you to go out there and just rid your life of the darkness, of the bad things that you don't like. I'm telling you to fill it with the things that you do like. Because naturally, all the other stuff's going to go away. And at this point, in the talk, most people start thinking, all right, Brian, that's all fun and dandy, but you're living in a pipe dream. How do I make money? I got bills. I got a family. I got this. I got that. Well, I'm going to tell you a little story. I'm going to tell you a little story about somebody I know. They were working in a job where they showed up at 5:30 every morning. They didn't leave till 8:30 p.m. every night. They got one Sunday off a month. One Sunday off a month. They worked for somebody. They were miserable. They didn't like it. They stayed there because they needed money. They needed to pay their bills. They had a kid. They had a son. They needed to pay child support, and so they could see their kid. He stayed there with the promise that he was going to get a raise, that things were going to get better, because it was in his boss's best interest to keep him there. Why? Because that man was helping somebody else live life on their terms, wasn't living life on his. Well, I'm going to tell you, one day the company didn't have any money in the bank account. So what happens when the company doesn't have money? Employee doesn't get paid. My friend didn't get paid. 2 weeks go by, rent's late, he gets paid, okay, we catch up. Second month, same thing happens. Now he's getting an eviction warning. 2 weeks, gets paid, great. Third month, same thing happens, it's not an eviction warning anymore, it's an eviction notice. Guess what? My buddy kicked out of his own home, living out of his SUV because he refused to leave a job that he thought he was going to go get money for. For 2 months, he lived out of that SUV, and then one day he decided, I am never going to live my life. I am never going to live another day unless it's on my terms. Every single day I'm going to live on my terms. And let me tell you something. That man is standing before you today, acting, directing, training, spending time with his kid, up here talking to you, making movies, traveling when I can, writing what I want to write, doing what I want to do when I want to do it. I make more money now than I ever made at the gym. What I'm telling you is, if you fill your life with the things that you want to do, you're going to be so passionate about it that you're going to find a way. You will, because you love it. Now let me talk. The last thing I'm going to touch on is failure. We will all fail. I failed. All of us in this room have failed at some point or another. But I promise you, I make this promise, and I will bet every dime that I make from now until the day I die, that failing, doing something that you love to do, hurts a whole heck of a lot less than failing when you're doing something that you're miserable doing anyways. Why? Because when you fail doing something you love, you wake up the next day still doing the thing you love. You're still looking forward to it. You're still excited about it. When you fail doing something you're miserable at, or miserable doing anyways, what do you have to look forward to? Succeeding at being miserable? So I challenge you, each and every one of you, to find the things that you love to do. Find the things that you're passionate for. Be true to yourself, 100% true to yourself. Set those goals. Accomplish those goals. Don't be afraid to fail, and fill your life with the things that you care about, so you can live life on your terms, so you can open the doors for the opportunities that you actually want to have. Thank you.